There's been a lot of excitement and a lot of talk about some of the major announcements coming out of D23 over the weekend. Disney announcing some new attractions and a pretty big expansion at Magic Kingdom. And so here to talk about it is everything you need to know. Lead publisher Theron White, and he joins us now live via Zoom. Theron, thanks for being here.
Always happy to be here.
So pretty big announcements here, and just this morning, we are now kind of getting an idea of what some of these things may be taking the place of. So can you kind of fill us in here?
Absolutely. So Disney announced an insane amount of stuff that was going to be coming to Walt Disney World within the next 5 years. One of the big ones is going to be 2 new Cars attractions, as well as a Villains Land, and they're both going to be coming to the Magic Kingdom. The Cars Land specifically, Disney gave a little bit more details about, and it's going to be replacing the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. So the big river that's in the Frontier area, that is completely going to be knocked down, and it's going to become kind of like a national park center now.
And so we see this statement from Disney kind of confirming that this morning, talking about the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. What do you make of that? What's your reaction to kind of saying, seeing these things go in and being replaced with these new attractions?
So normally, I feel like Disney fans get really upset when the original attractions are replaced. I mean, both of these things were here from the day that Magic Kingdom opened. But to be honest, I'm actually not super upset about it. The Tom Sawyer Island requires you to take these small boats back and forth from the island. It's really not used that much by guests for your everyday guest that's going to be going there. They have to close down at sunset. You can't watch the fireworks from there. It's a massive amount of space, and while beautiful and very relaxing, when it comes to the entirety of Magic Kingdom, there's not a ton offered there. The Liberty Bell is beautiful. It's given some great options and views around the park. But again, when it comes down to space, and Magic Kingdom loves utilizing all their space, they probably were the biggest, I don't want to say waste, but they were definitely the biggest use of space for the minimal amount of attractions. What's replacing it is going to be 2 Cars rides. Disney's given some details on one, which is kind of like an off-road rally, and then they said there's going to be a kid-friendly attraction, which they haven't really talked about. But based off the concept art, we can see that this is going to be kind of like an off-road version of Epcot's Test Track ride. You're going to be getting inside of vehicles and going up and down and through the mountains, over rivers, and kind of seeing what looks like a Western National Park area. While they didn't give exact details, this kind of looks to me like you're almost driving through Yellowstone National Park or the Grand Tetons, and while originally the idea of cars going into Frontierland sounds a bit odd, it does sound nice if we can basically get a more frontier area of Frontierland to expand over there. I know people are going to be upset about the loss of these 2 original attractions, but I think if done right, if not budget cut, if done to the way that Disney's originally expanding it now, I do think that this could actually be a really positive look for the park and could kind of mix it up a little bit, something different than we see from all the other Cinderella-style castle parks all around the world.
Oh, there. Sorry, I think I had my mic muted. So what I was saying was, you raise a good point there. But I also wanted you to talk to us a little bit about Disney Villains Land. That's part of this massive expansion of Magic Kingdom, and this is something a little bit different than. A little bit of a different tack than what we see at Magic Kingdom currently.
Absolutely. A lot of people have kind of compared this to what Universal is building at Universal Epic Universe with their Dark Universe. This is going to be basically Disney's version of it, and it's something that Disney fans have been asking for decades. This actually is going to go behind Big Thunder Mountain, and while they haven't given a ton of details about it yet, they've talked about different rides and shows that are going to be there. Basically, you're going to be entering an evil version of the Magic Kingdom, and we're going to be going into a scary but not so scary version of the park. There's going to be rides there, and while again Disney hasn't confirmed this yet, in their concept art we can see a massive high-speed roller coaster that appears to be going upside down and diving into caves filled with scary green fog. And it looks like an area that could be a lot of fun, a nice expansion. It'll certainly be a very, very different from the Cars Land. While we're going to have some of the original lands, we've got Tomorrowland and Frontierland, going back into this Villains Land, I'm expecting we're going to get something almost like a portal or something to walk under, kind of like when you walk into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This land probably won't be as obvious to the rest of the park as some of the other ones are, but that transition into going into a bit of an evil Magic Kingdom will be something pretty cool to be able to see. We already know that there's a castle there according to the concept art, and they've talked talked again about the shops and stores. So it could be nice, because this is going to kind of butt up to the back of Haunted Mansion, at least by the way they've described it. It would be nice to see if you could walk in through Haunted Mansion into a scary part of the park, and go in through Fantasyland into the evil Fantasyland. Go in from Frontierland and maybe the mountains get more ragged and dark and scary. So there's a lot of transition points that they could walk into for this land. And one really, really big scary coaster could win over some fans, because Magic Kingdom, while they absolutely have fun and thrilling attractions, we don't have a coaster that goes upside down in that park.
Now let's go to Animal Kingdom here, because Tropical Americas is going to, as I understand it, replace Dinoland USA.
Yes, that is correct. So Dinoland USA is gone. Disney said this is going to be going in phases. So while we don't know what those phases are, we do know that one of the rides, Dinosaur, is going to be replaced with a new style of Indiana Jones ride. Now, they have an Indiana Jones ride right now over at Disneyland in California. Exact same track, same left, same right, up and down. It's the exact same, but a different theme. People love that ride, so I'm assuming we're going to get a very, very similar version. We're probably just going to retheme that, and that's probably going to be phase 1, because that would be a lot easier to do than some of their other expansions. We're also going to get a little bit of Colombia and South America inspired town that's going to be replacing a majority of the Dinoland theming that we see now. And way in the back, we're going to get the Casita from Encanto, and that is going to be a new ride. No official real big details there, but we can imagine something that's kind of like the Haunted Mansion, but a modern version. You're going to be going through a house, you're going to be exploring, you're going to hear the wonderful music, and we do know that at the end we're going to go into the rainforest area of the park.
We talked about the reception to kind of losing Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. What do you think the reception is to saying goodbye to Dinoland USA and the dinosaur ride?
So the dinosaur ride has almost a cult following. There are people that are just obsessed with that ride. But if you look at the overall wait times for that park, it definitely is one of the lower wait times. I think your general Disney crowd is going to be okay with it leaving, because so many of them know of Indiana Jones, so many of them know about these new properties, and a lot of Dinoland has just been kind of sitting there, especially after we lost Primeval Whirl. We really just have the dinosaur ride and some of the kids' playground areas and a little spinner. I think generally the Disney fans are going to be okay with it, but those dinosaur fans are very, very sad. You can see that right now on Twitter, X, Facebook. They are upset they lost their ride.
All right, let's talk big picture here before I let you go, and the kind of competition with Universal and what this does. I know a lot of people had been waiting on some big announcements from Disney, because it seemed like it's been all Universal with Epic Universe coming next year. So what does this kind of do in that kind of back and forth, that tug of war between Disney and Universal?
So theme park fans, we love the theme park wars, because every time they fight, we just get cooler and better stuff. It has absolutely been about Epic Universe nonstop, because they're coming, it's big, it's in 2025. Disney is announcing some stuff for 2025. We're going to get a brand new bar and lounge that's going to be at Magic Kingdom. We're going to get a new lounge for Epcot, and we're going to get Magic Kingdom's first nighttime parade in a very long time. So Disney does have stuff planned for 2025, and they're coming out with more stuff in 2026, 2027, and beyond. But there's certainly not a massive, mind-blowing thing that's going to be happening next year. I think Disney understands that. There's really nothing they could have done to have countered Epic Universe, and it's just its massive scale and all the rides. So they're saying, hey, look, we are building stuff for 2025. We do have a new update in 2026 for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with Mando and Grogu. We're going to have things in 2027, like the updates to Animal Kingdom, and then 2028 and 2029, approximately, for the Cars Land and the Villains stuff that's going to be happening. Disney is building stuff. They've got the war coming, but I think they also knew, look, 2025 is simply Universal's year. We're going to kind of let them have it.
All right. Theron White, lead publisher of Everything You Need to Know, EYNTK.info. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 35 News Plus this morning and breaking all this down for us.
Of course. Have a great day.
All right.